Andrew Wilson completely torches gay pastor Brandon Robertson, and he even got him to confess that his core values completely align with the same core values of a Satanist. And he got him to confess a couple of more things that you guys are going to find extremely shocking as to what he truly believes. This is insane, man. This is wild. Let's go ahead and hop into this video, watch it, and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and tap that subscribe button, and let's hop into this video right now. Okay, so you have to watch this entire thing to really understand exactly what was said here. It goes all the way into the end of the video, but it's a really short video, okay? It's only 8 minutes. I had a sour taste in my mouth for Andrew Wilson because of the Nyla Ray situation, the lady who left OnlyFans and followed Christ, and he pretty much claimed that she was doing it for clout and that she was doing it because she's trying to change the narrative of how people look at her and it's not legitimate. And I didn't like that fact, okay? But I'm having second thoughts about him now. I'm not 100% with him, but he did a great job exposing Brandon Robertson, okay? Let's hop into this video.
I was going through, you have a multitude of videos, and I kind of went over the positions, and I just want to make sure that this is correct. Essentially, you believe that people should strive to act with compassion, empathy towards everybody and kind of all creatures which exist, right?
Yes.
Okay. That there is a struggle, an ongoing struggle for justice, and that that needs to prevail, right? Including if it needs to prevail over the law, which Jesus Christ himself did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One's body is their own, and it's not subject to somebody else, right? And their will.
I would talk about God having some authority and ownership of that too, but yes.
Okay. Freedoms for people should be respected, and you should not in any way unjustly encroach upon other people's freedoms.
Sure.
Okay. Belief should conform to one's best scientific and psychological understanding of the world, and one should take care not to distort scientific facts.
Yes.
Okay. And people are fallible. They make mistakes, and you should do your best to rectify those mistakes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, real quick, I just wanted to show you, I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Jake, can you pull that up for me? Please? Yeah. Can you read the title of that?
7 fundamental tenets. Yes.
The 7 fundamental tenets.
Yeah.
Now, let me scroll down briefly.
I know where this is from.
And can you read that? What does that say?
Yeah, the Satanic Temple.
Of the Satanic Temple. So essentially your doctrine and dogma, right, 100% conforms with the 7 tenets of Satanism by your own admission. Is that correct?
Yes, but if you know about the Satanic Temple, they're actually an atheistic organization that does not believe in Satan or God. So
his doctrine and his dogma is straight out of the Satanic Temple's doctrine and what they believe and their tenets. And this man is supposed to be a quote-unquote Christian pastor. This is the most hypocritical thing that I've ever heard of. And he still has a church. I don't know how big his church is. He still is a pastor to somebody. He's pastoring over somebody. This man is he's a legitimate hypocrite. He is just like Satan. And he's tricking people to think that he is a man of God and that, listen to his doctrine, okay? Listen, it gets much worse. Listen to this.
No, I was just saying the Satanic Temple, if anybody knows, is an atheistic movement that does not believe in Satan or God. So it's an interesting thing to try to bring up, to try to align it with Satan, but there's no biblical basis that those are Satan's values, and the movement itself doesn't believe in Satan or God.
Correct. It's a secular organization, right?
Yeah.
And its stated goals are to be a subversive element to Christianity by utilizing Christian ethics against Christians. And they utilize these tenets in order to do that, which are borrowed from Christian ethics, as a way to snub their nose and say, nah, 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 nah. We got you, Christians. And you agree with every single tenet of the Satanic doctrine, the secular subversive organization, which is there specifically to destroy Christianity. Is that not correct, sir?
That's not correct, actually. I'm good friends with a Satanist who belongs to the Satanic Temple, and his goal and their goal is not to subvert Christianity, it's to subvert conservative Christianity.
Where in our Bible, our canon, the greatest book ever composed does it say to be friends with Satanists? Wait, where does it ever say that at? It doesn't. And so being a pastor and to say that you are friends with Satanists, that is like, bro, you are utterly confused. You're utterly confused. Who is the author of confusion? Satan. Satan's using this man to continue to put a blind eye in the eyes of people that are not deep in the book to know things for themselves, or people that have itching ears that want a pastor like him to tell them that these things are good, and the end result of that is you're going to go to hell when you die. And that is not me judging. That is a fact. If you follow Brandon Robertson in his doctrine, you will go to hell when you die. And their blood will be on his hands, but they will still go to hell because they didn't follow Jesus. They followed Brandon.
Exist at the time of LaVeyan Satanism, wasn't even a thing. And
not LaVeyan
the way
Satanism.
the modern Satanic Temple, which took its lead from LaVeyan Satanism's 10 tenets for the now 7, right, also existed before there was a Christian nationalist movement at all, in order to remove the 10 Commandments from any type of public area, in order to remove any type of public prayer from schools, things like this. I suspect these are all things you support.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Wow.
How is that not subversive?
It is subversive. I believe Jesus is subversive.
So you're a subversive.
Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with what you said there. Of course.
Okay, gotcha. And you agree with all of the tenets of Satanism.
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Okay. So now that we have some of that clarified, can we just move on to a couple of basic questions that I have for you?
Yeah.
You converted to Christianity when you were 22.
No, 12.
12. I'm sorry. I read here that you made your...
He never converted because he's not a Christian. He falsely converted at age 12. He's never been a Christian because he's never followed Christ. You can't be a Christian and then all of a sudden change up and think like he does. That's not how it works. The Holy Spirit is supposed to operate in you. God is supposed to give you the desires of your heart. His desires are of his heart or of his flesh, and he's never tried to live a life that would be pleasing to God. He's never followed Christ. I don't even know if he prays. I doubt he prays.
Your final conversion or acceptance at 22, is that right? When you were an adult, or
No.
okay? What did I get wrong?
A few things like the log cabin Republican thing is also interesting and incorrect. But I became a Christian at the age of 12 in a fundamentalist Baptist church, and ended up in an evangelical church. Then went off to Moody Bible Institute to become a pastor, and graduated there when I was 21. And so
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I conflated the two. Is you graduated there when you were 21,
Yeah.
and you now serve as a pastor in pastoral duties, correct?
Absolutely.
I have a direct question for you. You may find it offensive, but I would like to have it answered. Have you engaged in group sex with men since you've been a pastor?
No.
Never?
No.
Do you condone group sex with men?
No, I would not say that's general sexual ethic that I would endorse.
Why?
Because I believe that sex is best consensually, lovingly between usually two people. But I also, and I write about this extensively at the end of my new book, that my version of sexual ethics isn't about rules. So you're going to be hard pressed to get me to come down firmly and say something is right or wrong objectively in all situations.
Then why not engage in group sex?
Because that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, I know. But if somebody does want to do it, why wouldn't you condone it?
I think that if your values are centered on love, consent, and adult relationships, then anything can be a healthy expression and anything can be an unhealthy expression.
He said anything could be a healthy expression as long as it is consensual between adults. So that means you can have 100 people, right? Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue are correct in what they are doing. They are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing spiritually, nothing physically, because they're all consenting. According to his doctrine, Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue are doing they're doing good work out here. They are doing, this is the way that it is intended to be. This is insane. When you let go of God's standards, when you let go of God's rules and what he says is right and wrong, you give room for anything else to happen. There's 100% chaos, because if you're not following the way Christ said to do it, then we can make up our own rules. And if we can make up our own rules, it's endless. We can say, oh, since I want to do this, it's okay. And that's what he does. And that's what he's teaching people. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be led astray because of him. This is why God said that he's going to separate the wheats from the tares, and that sometimes you may not know that someone's a tare or a wheat, but in the end, the tares will be thrown into the fire and the wheat will be collected in the harvest. He's a prime example of a tare, but he's an obvious tare. He's like a field full of wheats, and then this like 7-foot tall tare, and you're like, that's not a wheat. And I can very easily see that that is a tare. That's him. Rebellion against Christ to the highest T. Complete rebellion. That's what this is.
So then you would, if somebody came to you and said, well, there's 4 of us men and we all want to get married to each other,
Yes.
you would marry all of them together, correct?
Yeah.
You couldn't have an objection to that, right?
No, I support
Okay.
polyamory.
And so if they all went home that night and had a big gay orgy, you would
It's not an orgy if they're married. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, okay, you wouldn't condemn it, right?
No.
Yeah, so you would condone it, you would marry it. So you do condone this activity.
Sure.
Okay, now
The way that you're framing it now, yes.
yeah, now if 6 secularists made the declaration that they were married,
Yeah.
right, absent your authority to marry them, of which you have none, but if you, assuming I just granted that you did, the secularists who give themselves the authority and then they all marry each other, all 6 of them, you couldn't say that they're doing anything wrong, right?
I don't think consensual adults in relationships are doing anything wrong. No.
Never.
Not if it's a consensual, loving relationship.
Because there's no harm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me then, sir, Brandon, I'm really curious about this. If your grandmother died and you dug her up from the grave and nobody knew about it and you had sex with her corpse, can you demonstrate for me the harm?
She can't consent, so yes, that would be the harm.
Wait a second. She doesn't need a consent. She's not
doesn't.
alive. What? No. Why? Wait. What? What?
I think you're spinning yourself in circles here. My standard for sexual morality is that all sex has to be consensual.
Can a tree consent?
Like I said in the beginning of the video, I have my thoughts about Andrew Wilson because of what he was saying about Nyla Ray. And I still have certain thoughts about him. I don't know him, I have to look more, more of his stuff up and check him out. But one thing I do know is he did an awesome job in this video. I mean, even getting him to confess that his doctrine aligns perfectly with the doctrine of Satanists. How convenient is that? Or how much of a coincidence is that? And he also said that as long as there's consensual adults, you can do whatever you want. That sounds like, if you read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, that is exactly what they were doing. I mean, it's almost exactly the same scenario. Everyone in those cities were having orgies, and they even tried to get some angels involved in it, and they got beat up for that. But I mean, it's the same exact behavior. This is not, if you are, I don't know who's going to watch this video, guys. So if you are in the LGBTQ plus, right, and you're watching this trying to get some clarification, or you're trying to see what was said, I'm just letting you know right now, okay? We all have things that we shouldn't do, that we have desires to do, right? We have desires, but we're not supposed to live by those desires. We're supposed to deny our flesh and follow Christ. Deny our flesh and live life in a way that Christ tells us to live. If you want to be a Christian, if you want to be a part of Christ in this body of Christians, you have to follow Christ. Now, are we going to be perfect at that every day? No. You may have slip ups, as you may have some times where you do things that strictly goes against what God says, but the goal is to strive to be like Christ and to give up your desires that are going to lead to death, because the wages of sin is death. It's going to lead to death. You want to give that up for life, because the Spirit gives life. And so you live by the Spirit that gives you life, that gives you the ability to say no to my flesh. I'm going to live by the Spirit. I'm going to wake up, pick up my cross, and continue to follow the Spirit. And then you may drop your cross, and you may try to dabble back into some of the things you say, no, I don't want to do that. Let me grab this cross again and follow Christ. And so instead of him teaching people that, he's teaching people the opposite. Instead of teaching people God's doctrine and the Bible, he's teaching people Satan's doctrine, as in do what you want, live life how you want, and to go against what God says and to question everything that God says. That's what Satan wants everyone to do. And that's what he's teaching. So this is crazy. I'm glad Andrew Wilson did what he did. Shout out to him. We got to be able to like expose this kind of stuff because like they said, he's a pastor over people and they probably won't listen because they are going to listen to him or they wouldn't be under him in the first place. But there may be someone online that is like kind of siding with Brandon Robertson, and then they see a video like this and like, oh, let me not do that, right? That's why we do this. So this is crazy. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section. All right, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and hit the post notification bell so you do not miss another video. My name's Aaron Page. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Until next time, I'm out.